Hi, I'm Jale. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be a general live reading for this Monday. Yes, we are going live early. Main reason, the noise in this house is ridiculous, and I'm trying to stay focused, and also just to sort of give other viewers an opportunity to catch us live. Few of you guys find it a lot easier to do it around this time, and I did always say that if there was a larger audience or a larger group of people that wanted an earlier live, then I would definitely be open to that. So if you're watching later, skip on to 5 minutes in. Should be about the time when the reading starts. For all you guys who have joined, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Just going to go over quickly a competition that we are running at our 1,000 viewers. We're going to be giving away, I say we, the guides, giving away a tarot deck, Tarot Neferati, courtesy of Nina. Thank you, Nina. And also 30-minute free reading, a medium of your choice. So video, phone call, whichever is more suitable for you. So that is going to be running between now and then. And if you want to be in a chance with winning, hi, Stacey, then make sure that any of the other, not live, the general videos are, you're subscribed to my channel, that you're liking at least one of the videos, and you're also commenting on another. And I will be picking a random comment between the 1,000 viewer hit and obviously when we started the competition, which was the couple of videos ago, and I'll be choosing someone at random to win that prize. So before we get started, I'm going to go through a nice little story. So usually when I prepare my readings, obviously I do my meditation, I cleanse, I clear my space, I'll sit in the energy a little bit and try and feel out the energy. And it was, oh goodness me, Jale, for goodness sake, if you watched the previous live, you know it was super emotional. And I'm not going to lie, this is also going to be super emotional. Main reason being is I was sat here and I was like, making sure the guides were okay and the ancestors are coming through and that, everything's sorted, the space is protected, we're grounded. I'm grounded, should I say. And my granddad came through again, and he knows he's obviously, they see everything, don't they? That spirits see everything, so they know what you're going through, they know what you've been through, they know where you've been, where you're going, and where you're at now. And I'm not going to lie, this last couple of months has been particularly difficult for me, but obviously you just get on with it, don't you? Try and work through it, you try and do your own healing, and then you kind of work through what you can. That's all you can do as a human being. But my granddad, bless him, he knew that I was really struggling, and so he came through, and I think he's trying to break me down a little bit, and I'm like, please, why is it always in the readings? So yeah, he came through as sort of an acknowledgement, as we can see what's going on. And I said, I've left it up to you guys because I know you guys are more than capable. And then because I was shuffling this deck, which is the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck by Denise Lynn, I looked at the bottom of the deck after he went, because he said, I'm here for your readings, gave me a personal message, and then obviously sort of took his place, as he always does. I'm going to start crying again, this is ridiculous. Anyway, so I looked at the bottom of the deck, and this was the card at the bottom of the deck with the rainbow. It says miracles. And as you know, I've been channeling rainbow since last year, maybe August time last year. The message that came through for Lilith readings starting in around August, where I referenced around this time of year for 2020, whereby there would be upgrades and rainbow warriors. And I know, Stacey, it was honestly so nice. And all those other people who have just joined, thank you, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here. This is going to be a general collective live reading. I'm just going for a little super emotional story before I start. So for all you guys that doubt that, people are watching, or your guides are watching, or your ancestors are watching, they're seeing everything. And I think my granddad came through just as a sort of a reassurance, because sometimes, it doesn't matter how many people you've got around you. If you're going through something, and then you're sort of wondering, oh, what are they seeing? Are they seeing everything? And, is it just me that, yes, they see everything. They see absolutely everything. And they've got your back at all times. They've got your back. They want to be able to support. They want to be able to assist. They want to be able to help. And Yeah, they want to be able to sort of reassure you. This is their job, part of their, especially with guardians. My grandfather is my guardian, so he is the big boss. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so that was really just lovely. I love it. And this is the thing. We usually do connect outside of the readings, but because I'm sitting in this energy and I'm a lot more open, because that's I'm having to be, he can come through a lot easier. And actually it's a real, look at the other card when I've cut the deck, patience. This is a bird reference as well, and as you can see, the heron is flying through the sun. This is a personal message for me, so I'm just going to carry on with that one. Let me just double check. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get the message through because I know there's a personal message for me there, but let me just see what the message is for you guys. One sec. You aren't to give up. If you feel like you're a party of one with one truth, and that you're trying to express that one truth to a body of people that aren't listening, keep going. It doesn't matter if you're a party of one. Your truth is your truth, and it shouldn't be restricted or viewed as otherwise. You have a God-given right to express yourself, and yeah, 100%, this is something that you should be comfortable doing. And if you're not already comfortable doing it, ask yourself why. Because we are always limited in this world. We're souls living a human existence, and so there is always certain limitations placed on us, and we have to as human beings make sure that we are not always adhering to that, because there's a very fine line between freedom and restriction, and so we have to check ourselves a little bit. There's a very restrictive energy going on here, but it's designed that way, and actually the reality is it's not as restricted as you think. It's more of a mindset thing. Now it's really interesting because I've done lots of I actually had I met someone, a monk from Thailand, and this is a true story, on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. And we did a lot of Pali mantras, and Pali is a language that it's not as old as Sanskrit, but it's fairly up there. And so I did a lot of Pali mantras around training the mind, and because it's very useful for when you're using your intuition to determine what is fact and what isn't, what is the reality and what isn't, what is your wishful thinking, what isn't. Yeah, so I would definitely look into something. For some reason I'm going off on that tangent, maybe because people are doubting their intuition, maybe because people are doubting what they're seeing in front of them. And again, my throat chakra is going a little bit imbalanced there, so if this is relating to you, then have a look into how to sharpen your intuition that is also inclusive of allowing your mind to, because this is the thing, it's very easy to get swept up in intuition and not actually, you can very easily misread your intuition very easily, especially if you've got a massive imagination. There's a balance in all things. So the message there is obviously look into that if you feel that's for you, but also something around speaking the truth, because my throat chakra is going really wobbly here, and I'm channeling at the moment. So there's no coincidence with what I'm saying and the tangents I'm going off. There's lots of hidden messages that I give in my readings. I've just cut the deck again, and we've got courage. Someone is emotionally not sure about something they want to do. This could be someone that is enjoying traveling, that enjoys I feel like they travel for freedom, and they feel they're not gaining that at the moment. And so when they travel, it's their get out the jail free card almost. You can travel within your mind, don't you? You can actually, to be honest with you, I do it every night. I'm an astral traveler, so when I go to sleep, I work. Like, I'm not even joking you. When I sleep, I don't sleep, I work. Which is why I'm always working. Anyone who actually knows me knows I'm always, when I say working, it's not like I'm talking about readings, because this is not my job, it's my heart, But yeah, I'm always astral traveling in my sleep. So if you feel like you're being limited within your environment, your physical environment, then utilize your mind All right, but make sure there's a balance between utilizing the mind and not allowing it to control you. Joanna, hello. I was about to message you and go, do you know what? I'm going to do an early. And then for some reason, I thought, I've got a feeling she's going to catch on. I think you might have seen my Insta story, didn't you? We'll be speaking soon anyway, won't we? So we haven't got long till we got lots of interesting information, Joanna. Hope you're doing well. Shout out Stacey for moderating today. Appreciate you. Let's see what the guys want to bring forward here. Oh, did you see it on Facebook? Oh, bless you. Oh, yeah, because the group, isn't it? Yeah, bless your heart. Bless your heart. I did think last night when I better message you and say something, and then I got completely caught up in something else. 15,000 other things I've got to do. Let's see what the guys want to bring through here. I don't know why, but I feel a bit somber. I don't know why. I don't feel like it's not my energy, it's the collective energy. And I get it. We're in, well, most of us, the UK is definitely in lockdown. And I know you guys are not in the UK, but the mood around here is weird. I'm not going to lie. It's a really somber, weird mood. So let's just see what's going on in the collective. Hopefully, yeah. I'm just hearing expect the unexpected. I'm not discounting this energy because this is the thing. Look at the rainbow references. Obviously, it's coming after a storm, isn't it? Nick, it is massively somber. Yes. Welcome, by the way. Right, okay, so look, we've got blessings here. As you know, with any kind of storm, there is always some kind of, if there's a rainbow afterwards, there's always some kind of blessing. They call it God's promise. Blessings here. The canary. This is a state of mind. This is a state of mind. Hi, Nick. Welcome. Thank you for the like. I'm just hearing, what are you not seeing? What aren't you seeing? This always reminds me of the canaries they took down the mines, the pits in the UK. If you've got any awareness of the history of the UK, we did a lot of mining here. Wow, this card was in the middle of the deck. Forgiveness. Who aren't you forgiving? This was actually hidden in the deck. Thanks for the subscription, Nick. Thank you, Susan. Welcome. So the canaries are usually the warning system, isn't it, in the mines to alert the miners that there's an issue, usually gas or some kind of something that you can't see, okay? Why? There's definitely an energy here of people not wanting to put faith in something, people unaware of where to put their faith. And apart from not putting it in themselves, they're also not putting it in their spirit team. Someone has got an issue around forgiveness here as well. It could be a general collective energy. They're just saying it is. I feel like people are getting angry about not being led in the right direction. But this is where I'm talking about the mind, being utilized properly. You can do that for yourself. If you feel like, this is a classic. If you feel like the leadership in a country is not leading you the right way, lead yourself. If you feel like your I don't know, your family, your friendship group, your partner, your anything is not working for you, regroup in your own separate entity, your own sovereignty, because I just feel like there's an energy here of, and it's not about hermiting. This is about disconnecting from the pack a while, just enough for you to regroup and understand what it is you need. Because why do I feel like it's just like people are getting so discontented with the same routine they've been in, but they're not sure. They want to change, but they can't quite pinpoint how to do that. My recommendation is meditation, because it's a very singular kind of activity where you can connect with your higher self and yourself, and you can feel out what it is you need within that space. It's very difficult when you're in amongst a million people. You're in a collective group of people where they've all got issues, and you're trying to figure out what it is you need and you want, and your voice is an echo back of other people's discontentment. Go within. Honestly, I cannot rate it high enough, because I'll be really honest with you, the amount of times I could have lost my mind if I didn't have meditation, because not everyone has an easy, straightforward life. Not everyone has that blessing, Not everybody has a a path of straightforward, easy life. It just is, not everybody has that, because they're here to do something, or that there's a lesson they've got to learn in it. So that's my recommendation. Right, what else, Spirit? What else do we need to know here? What other messages, please? Thank you. I'm getting Sally. Thanks, Archangel Michael. Don't know if you heard the beep. Someone's saying the name Sally. This is not going to probably make sense, but to the person it's for, it's going to. They're saying lost at sea. And I just heard in my head, oh my goodness. I don't know if that's going to help anyone here, but next card, patience. If this doesn't make sense, I apologize. The message is probably not for you. All right, so just bear that one in mind. Patience. Again, this is the second time this has come through. People are trying to push this energy through. Are you trying to push the energy through for the sake of yourself? Because there's something you're missing. People are too busy trying to wander into a direction here that they haven't fully thought out, and Spirit is asking you to just sit in this energy and wait it out and try and figure out your next move, because if you're moving too soon, is the direction for you? Is this the right move? I feel like there's an element of this weight that you're about to be shown here. Either it's to show you that it was the right decision to hold off, or to now make a decision to move forward in a certain direction. But you're going to be getting that sign. I don't know why, but they're giving me Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, they said about 3 days. So just next couple of days, if you are waiting on a sign or something to try and give you an idea as to sort of what to do next, they just keep talking about Wednesday. Something happening on Wednesday. And a referee. There could be, I'll be honest with you, it feels like it could be a job situation. Wow. This is the same cards that was in the bottom of the deck. Miracles. With the rainbow. It's when you least expect it. This is when you least, it's like you've just switched off. You've just sat in your energy. You've got this mindful energy to you where you're not focusing on the past, you're not focusing on the future, you're just sat in the present moment, and it comes. That's how I want to describe this energy. People are trying to push forward, people are trying to bring this energy to a certain point. It's not meant to be. We're in a retrograde season at the moment. We've got what? Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, Venus, Vesta, all in retrograde, and it's a lot of them are not going to be, I mean, obviously Venus will be going direct around sort of roughly around the end of June, but the rest of them you're looking more about September, which means there's a huge, it's like a train with the carriages, and obviously they usually have the buffers, don't they? It's like there's these train tracks, these train carriages that are just being placed on this track, waiting for momentum, for movement, because the time is not right. Someone needs to reevaluate things here. I mean, I'll be really honest with you. This feels to me like the general collective have not got the hint from the previous last 2 months of lockdown. And so Spirit are like, let's just kind of, I mean, that would make total sense from what I've been saying. Because there are people that just don't seem to... I've got to laugh because this is so relevant to my situation as well. People just don't seem to get it. It's like, yeah. Let's see what other messages we've got here. Yes. Where is the focus? Well, actually, you can do what you want to do, but their suggestion here is don't focus on being different. It's like someone's got such a strong focus on being different that they're trying not to be different, and you're doing yourself a disservice. That's how I want to say it. This is a leopard. This isn't a snow leopard. This is a leopard. It's not quite merged into the background here. Good morning, Lisa. It's not quite merged into the background here. which means, from how I'm reading it, is that someone feels very different and they're not totally embracing that difference. It's like they're so aware that they're different that they're not, what's that quote? If you weren't born to fit into the world, you're here to create a new one. There's something along those lines. This is exactly it. This is the time when, if you feel like you're totally separated from, I don't know, your peers, you've got a different mindset, you're not on the same wavelength as a lot of different people that you feel are in your immediate environment. This is the time to go on your own path. This is not the time to sit and go, well, I don't feel like I fit in. This is the time to cultivate that independence and that confidence. The solar plexus chakra, that's a classic. There's something around the solar plexus chakra here that it's like, people have got this, it's like every time people go and sort of charge ahead and break from the pack, or break from the, you know, try and sort of forge ahead, it's like they're pulled back in. And I believe it to be because of the collective, if I'm totally honest with you. But there's something around the solar plexus chakra, and it's interesting because now a lot of people have started to like integrate their meditations, especially on YouTube, around that. Ms. Dior, it's actually a general reading, but if it's a general question, then I can answer it. But if it's a personal question and a personal insight you'd like, then information is in the description box to get a personalized reading. Yeah, so the focus here is on you and to gain your independence. To like, again, another bird. This is about being objective about. Can you see there's a flower in its mouth here? Is that a flower? There's something in its mouth. Something's can you see in this bird's mouth? There's something, it's off picture. Something's in its mouth that is off picture that you can't quite see. You guys are look, this came out together as well. Delight and blessings. If you are holding on to something that you felt, oh, it's never going to manifest, or it's never going to come, or it's never going to this, never going to do that. Number one, are you talking yourself out of it? Because it looks like maybe you are. And number two, does that element or that kind of manifestation have anything to do with you having sovereignty of self, having that independence, having that confidence? Because if it does, you need to stay in that energy, because that's what's going to bring the manifestation through. Don't fit in. And I know that sounds really bad, but if you feel like this message is for you, don't forget this is a generalized reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Then this is for you, you know. But I just feel like I want to keep saying break away from the pack, because someone is slotting into place here and they shouldn't be. They're just slotting in as if that's going to solve all their problems. It's not. You're being misdirected deliberately. And that is a very real thing as well, because at the moment we've got so many distractions here. Thanks, Stacey. Yeah, so if you are getting a lot of distractions that are leading you away from your goals, what you're trying to manifest, there is usually is a very good reason. It's because you're about to get it, and it's a test. Like, keep going. Don't let any, because this is the thing, this is exactly the energy where there's a total disruption, where it's testing the focus. Because don't forget, we're in Taurus season here still, and we're about to transition into Gemini, which is all about, Stacey will tell you, which is all about the dualistic, isn't it? It's like, actually, Gemini is a very neutral sign, but it can be very easily distracted. But it's also very intelligent. It's also, it's very changeable, interchangeable energy, because the transitional element to it is very quick. So from Taurus, which is that earthly kind of slower pace, let's be realistic, into that kind of very changeable energy, we're gearing into that, because obviously we're about to transition. This is now the 18th. The 18th of May, in a couple of days, we will be transitioned into Gemini energy, which means already we're feeling that energy out. So 1 minute you're going to be very focused, the next minute you'll be sort of looking into space. The easier you get used to that energy now in Gemini season, the easier it will be, because Gemini, I mean, look, as a progressed moon in third house and as a progressed sun in Gemini, I can get very easily distracted. And obviously, if I'm reading from people, I'm channeling information, it's not always the best thing. So sometimes it is, because it means I can change a lot quicker and I can change up a gear, or I can do different. I'm more flexible. There's a more flexible edge to it. But just bear in mind that energy is already filtering through, because we're very close. Just because we hit Gemini season on the 21st of May doesn't mean to say on that day we're going to still feel the effects now, which are slower pace and then up a gear. No, I never get distracted either. Stacey, I've got to say this. So in fact, I did a reading once. Stacey cracks me up. Stacey had to take so much information in. I was saying to her eyes were like rolling into the back of her head because she was trying to focus on everything. And then I remember her turning around going, "Did you film that?" And I was like, "No." That's so not funny, but it kind of is. But I just remember the look on your face. You were just trying to absorb so much. You were trying to absorb so much information. And I remember feeling so bad for you, because I could tell you were so determined to listen to everything. I could tell you were so determined to listen and take it all in. And then because the information was a lot, bless you. But it's a Gemini thing, because it's like your brain would have been going in different, directions as well while I'm talking to you. I love it. Oh, that did crack me up. And I didn't film. Yeah, I still remember that, because I'm so annoyed with myself. Oh, that really wound me up. Yeah, I literally just afterwards thought, oh. But they keep, every time I say that, they keep saying there's a reason. We'll see. Thriving. Can you see here? We've got a giraffe here that's obviously raised off the ground. The giraffe can see a higher perspective. It's obviously got a different viewpoint from ground level. And as you can see around the trees, we've got a light that's shining through there. So there's a knowing here. I feel like spirit can see what's ahead, and they're trying to reassure that this is actually very positive. But I feel like the energy on the ground is one of, this doesn't feel positive to me. What on earth is going on? The way they're kind of saying it to me is that we're shedding skin at the moment, and there are layers and layers and layers and layers of this that have to be removed. And I'll be honest with you, is there going to be, when they say the new normal, the way I'm viewing it is different people around us, different jobs around us, different environments, house moves, different conscious awareness, different expectations, everything. Because obviously, in my opinion, this energy is perfect for expanding consciousness. So of course people are going to change when that happens. And so what Spirit is saying is this is leading us into a position where there is a positive outcome for us. But at the moment we're in this energy, it's like we're in a U-bend. We can't quite work out what's going on. Bottom of the deck, fulfillment. This is, look, can you see this is ripe for the picking as well? There's something about this energy here with the moon in the background. So the moon is usually it's like secretive, very elusive type of energy. But it's interesting, the moon in the background with the peach in the forefront. Something is secretly growing from this that you're not going to see. Can I see it? For me, I mean, I'm sure if I dug a little bit, then yeah. But my spirit guides are like, Jale, don't. Because sometimes when you know too much, it's you're not meant to. Yeah, it's a generalized reading that we're doing. But if you wanted to contact me via the description, if you go into the description, there is an email address. By all means, email me and we can set up a personalized reading. There is a secret. There's something secret that's growing here that you probably aren't going to be aware of. That is, can you see the moon in the background? It's like you're being led into thinking that this is a dead end, or this is going to be horrific, or oh my goodness, this energy we've been in. this, to me, this energy is, especially when it's so depressing, and there's a lot of especially when it's so depressing, there's a lot of like reference to death. As someone with a heavy placed Scorpio moon in 12th house unaspected, and also North Node in 8th house, and also Saturn progressed in the 8th house, and millions of family members who have got Scorpio moons, including my own mum, we all know this is death and rebirth. This whole thing is death and rebirth. And can it be literal? Yes, it can be, but it's more the reality, that the actual physical reality we're in, that we are transitioning past limitations that have restricted us and our growth, which is like birthing pains. It's like Braxton Hicks. This is, I feel, contractions towards, you know, birthing something that is totally needed. You know, this is the energy that we're going through. But there's hidden blessings that I feel that the guides want to reassure people about. The moon and the peach, it's like hidden fruit, hidden secret. Something is on its way, but it's like it's not meant to present, it's not meant to be obvious. It's almost like they want you to see how you operate in this kind of stressed environment, to see it's a test. It's like I said before about how spirit are always watching, and you feel like you're trying to, like, I'll give you an example. Literally working in this house is near impossible at the moment, because there's so many people in this house. Next door neighbors have got zero self-awareness, and so it's impossible. It's actually impossible to work. I've already said to people about 15,000 times, this is actually very difficult to work in this house because no one else is working apart from me. And so it's very difficult to keep in a routine that you're integrating with the household, plus doing what you need to do, plus having the time to do certain things. So I've had to really be focused in terms of discipline, to the point where, like, I literally, for the first time this last weekend, this was my first weekend off in 2 months. When I say weekend off, I'm talking the only time I ever got a day off was the day after my birthday. And even then, it wasn't a full day because we did the meditation relay. So even on my birthday, I did the live reading, but that was my choice because I wanted to do it. You know, they're always watching, and I didn't do it because I'm like, oh, they're always watching me. This is going to be great. You know, no. I'm led by my heart, you know, and this is exactly the environment that they're asking you to be led by your heart in, because it's actually going to give you what you need. You cannot look through what's going on at the moment through logic. It's just we've got to a point now in the collective where looking through logic is not going to get you really too far. And I'm not talking about being so empathic to the point where you're absorbing everyone's negative, low vibrational energy. No, because that's also, you've got to be disciplined around that as well. Like, again, for example, I've had so many, like, I've been flooded with messages of people like asking me for help and all this other stuff. And I got into a routine of doing that. And then I quickly realized that I was being used, you know, because not everyone, first of all, not everyone is going to have self-awareness. And secondly, believe it or not, in this environment, people are still going to try and be total wallies, you know, because again, it's like, it's their lesson. So just be aware. Thank you so much, Stacey. Bless you. Yeah, so just be aware that if you're conducting yourself with integrity, then that's all you can do. You cannot control other people's actions. If people are coming to you to try and utilize, you know, your kindness, then just regroup. All right. And again, the same as if you feel like, you know, you're expressing your truth to someone and then it's falling on deaf ears over and over again. There's no point, because their conscious awareness is not up to par. It's not up to the reality that you're witnessing. And so you explaining it over and over again is in my opinion, a waste of time. In my opinion, because it's like you're just trying to explain to someone something that they're never going to see until they've reached a certain awareness, which probably could be never. So just be very careful where you're putting your energy at this time, because there's energy traps everywhere, and it's tests. This is actually a test. So if you're spending X amount of times helping someone and then they never give back to you, or you're putting them as a priority, and then they don't see the value in giving to you in an equal manner, then at the end of the day, that's just it. You just do what you need to do. But don't expect them to see that, because they're not as aware, probably. All right, just a few messages for people there. Yeah. Okay, this is exactly the energy we need to stay in. We've got flow here. This is flow. Can you see the moon is actually, I mean, look, obviously we know the moon rules the tides. Okay, it's a magnetic pull, isn't it? This moon is, as you can see, rolling over this water, and it's interchangeable. It's like it's affecting the water to a point where it's almost controlling it. This, I feel, is what you should be almost kind of plugging into, flow, rather than the flow of someone that is maybe has a lack of self-awareness, or isn't up to conscious awareness that maybe you're in. Instead of getting suckered into that and going with their flow, and sort of, you know, when they're determining that they feel like, you know, it's right for you to do, then, you know, just be aware of the people determining your pace of life. Because I feel like the planet, this is where the flow should be, is in your environment, not so much the people. If your environment's dictating to you to go with the flow and to sort of, like, for example, if you're living in a house and you're trying to help out and, you know, like a community spirit, then this, I feel, would fit into that. If, say, let's say people in the house are then dictating certain things, that's when I would be pulling back and focusing on me, because it's not the energy that spirit want you to tap into. You're not here, you're not a sheep, you know, you're not a cattle that's being herded. You know, this is a problem with the collective at the moment, is the old confines, the old constructs are being broken down, and so people are having an opportunity to think for themselves now, and they can't, because they're not, and this is going to sound awful, but they really can't. People cannot, no offense, but unless you've sat in meditation for X amount of time, where you've reached a certain point where you can determine your truth, the mainstream people are basically stepping back now and asking you, okay, so what do you feel is your truth? And people can't answer it. And so there's a lot of confusion here. This is what they're asking you to tap into, not people, because if you tap into people, you're going to be so confused. The moon, gravitational pull, magnetic pull, that's that kind of instinct and an instinctual energy. This is what spirit are asking you to tap into, but going with the flow with it. So, for example, let's remove that kind of illusion of, because we are in a very illusionary energy right now. I mean, don't forget, we've got the moon that I think has just transitioned Neptune. So again, we've got to be aware that emotionally we are probably in a lot of a confused energy right now. Don't forget, it previously jumped over Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, transitioned past Mars, which is that very direct energy, and now it's transitioned past Neptune, which is that very illusionary kind of energy as well. So give it time, but regroup. This is not the time to be making ridiculous plans. I think this is the time to be quietly planning and understanding your own reality, in my opinion. And again, trust your instincts there. Wow. We've got gateway here. Wow. Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, in Arizona, is it Sedona? I can't remember the name of it, but there's like there's supposed to be like this portal, this gateway, this vortex in Arizona. Sedona, is it? That I've seen people like take their crystals there to charge them up. I've seen them go there to sort of sit in that energy. It reminds me of this. And it's like, because you're sitting in your own energy as opposed to the collective, you're opening a gateway, you're opening a doorway up here into a different reality. Because this energy to me is all about, and this is not about disconnecting totally from the collective where you're just some hermit that lives in the mountains. I'm talking balance here. I'm talking, don't rely on information externally. Stop that as a routine, in my opinion. Go within, all right? And really connect with you to find your own truth. If that truth matches another person's, great. If it doesn't, keep moving. If someone's trying to restrict that awareness of yours and trying to tell you something that doesn't fit your reality, keep moving. Follow that instinct of your truth. Follow this, okay? Don't, in my opinion, follow the freaking main, for example, classic example, mainstream media. Sorry. Like, no chance. There's zero chance. Unless you're dealing with an independent mainstream media, then no. Just no. Because I feel like if you can sustain that, the blessings that they're referring to here, it's like a new reality that you're going to go into, and it's like you're going to, there's an effortlessness to the truth that you'll be seeing. Again, we've got another unicorn. Again, this is what, the 15th time we've had rainbows and unicorns. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not really this kind of cookie cutter psychic that talks about love and light every 3 seconds. This is a generalized reading. If you want a personalized reading, just information is in the description box, but welcome. So yeah, gateway, keep going with this, because there's going to be something you're going to benefit from. Bottom of the deck, transformation. Butterfly energy, transformation. It's like we're shedding our skin, we're shedding our energy. Okay, we push through that, we push through into this reality. It's going to be definitely a lot more profitable, beneficial. What else, please? Other messages. Thank you for likes. Yeah. Stand still. The heron is observing until the right time of action. Can you see the heron is, the water is totally still. This heron has been there a long time because it's observing until the time is exactly right. If you're expecting, or people expectations, external expectations are to act, to do this, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing this? Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes that is the need. But if your instincts are telling you no, don't just merge into the collective and be like, oh, I'm just going to follow their instructions because that's what I'm used to doing. This is about you utilizing your own inner instincts here. This is how, essentially, this is what if we can all do that, this whole reality would be a lot easier to navigate through. If everyone took one opportunity to, the next time someone suggests them to do something, to sit and check in with themselves and go, is this something that would actually fall in line with what I would need? And if your instinct is telling you no, to follow that, can you imagine what we can create as a collective? Because you're shifting all kinds of different timelines here. And by you shifting a timeline, it's going to impact someone else's timeline. It's going to create a domino effect. I mean, personally, that is 100% what I'm going to be doing, you know, but it's up to you guys. Listen to your instincts. Listen to your instincts. But this energy is what this energy is telling me to do, is that if someone is telling you, oh, I don't understand that, great, well, off you go, because I know I do. So it just means you're not in the same reality. You're not viewing things in the same way. And it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means that possibly they're not on the same page as you, which means just let them learn. You know, it's, yeah, look, wonders. Not that you can see that, but anyway, it's reversed. The writing is reversed. Wonders. Amethyst. Do you know, it's interesting. I actually dreamt of amethyst crystal last night. I've just remembered. I know what this is referring to, but I don't know whether to say it or not. They're saying don't say it. The reason they're saying don't say it is just it's not the right time. what is the best way of saying this? What is it that I can say? Yeah, they're talking here about, it's like I want to clear the mind a little bit, because there's so much confusion, and it's like static confusion, overthinking around the mind, that it blocks our knowing of where to go next. It's like, and this is the thing, usually we're in a rat race, aren't we? The 9 to 5, where we have to be somewhere, and at this moment in time we don't usually, right? How well have you utilized that time? I feel like the most annoying human being as well, but it's the reality. It's like, because I know for a fact that I have put my energy and time into you guys, my channel, which I'm happy to do, and my videos, which I'm happy to do, but I've also put my time into people that definitely I shouldn't have done. 100%. And obviously, so sometimes I've put my energy and time into people that I should have done, but a few people I definitely shouldn't have put the energy and time into. But that was my issue, because I'm too I believe people too easily sometimes. My heart sometimes it leads me into problems, and then you get people going, no I didn't, and it's like, cool, it's my issue, I shouldn't have been so kind, you're right, but this is the time now when it's like, right, now have a look and see, so just be aware, just be very aware of what you're putting your time into. Again, they're giving us an opportunity here. This is opportunities. Apologies for the mirroring in the writing here, but not that you can see that, but it says opportunity. And again, we've got the moon. So the moon is confusion. It can be illusionary. It can also be emotion. It's waiting for an opportunity. If you don't think the energy or the time is right for you right now, bide your time. Don't just act because you think that's the done thing. You think, oh, that person's having difficulty, I'm going to act now. Or, oh, it feels like I'm being told I should be doing this. Don't buy into it. Pull back and observe it as if this is something that you really feel like you need. It's a boundary thing. Don't be suckered up into the first person telling you their sob story about how they're scared and they want help and all this other stuff, because 9 times out of 10, they don't get that, they're just out for themselves. And even if they don't fully, it might be that it's an accident, that the way they've done it. Even still, be very, just observe, don't act, just observe at this time, because it's going to teach you a lot more. And it's also going to mean that your time is being a lot more savored. It's not as don't be careful what you're investing your time into, basically, is what they're saying. Yeah, because look, this is what they're trying to bring. They're trying to bring this transformation. This is essentially the time to close out old karmic patterns. This is what they want you to learn. Nick, I feel you, mate. I feel you. It's like I'm the same. I'll be honest with you, I'm exactly the same. And it's always when you least expect it. It's always the people you least expect it from as well. It's always that. And it's almost like Spirit saying they're not asking you to be that energy of selfishness, right? Joanna, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. It's not asking you to be put your hands up if you relate. Put my hand up as well. It's not that you deserve to be taken advantage of or anything like that. Spirit are getting you to because let's be realistic. What a blessing to have a heart like this. What a blessing to be so giving and so generous and so open-hearted. What an amazing gift. The problem we've got is that not everyone views it as that, and they want to take it because they think they've got a God-given right to have that energy. And they also have a massive lack of self-awareness, whereby in terms of reciprocation or a balance of give and take, they have a massive lack of awareness of it. Now, I'm not talking about something here that is do energy, you know, like obviously we know, like if someone is manipulative, then just step away. You know, do you know what I mean? And especially if you bring that information to them and they start reacting as if you've stolen $1 million off them, then you know that this person has not got enough self-awareness to be aware of the fact that that's an issue. All right. And it's the same as you can tell if you bring that to their attention and they start totally bring up all this stuff that you've done in their opinion, and you're like, well, why didn't you bring this up before? Why now suddenly are you bringing all this information up? Now suddenly I've got an issue or we're trying to discuss something. Don't get suckered into it. I'm going to be really honest with you. Personally, if that was me, I wouldn't even, I don't entertain that. I'm being real. I don't entertain that energy. I move on. Sorry, like, what's the point? It's like you're talking to someone who doesn't want to see it, first of all, and who probably doesn't care. You know, let's be realistic. And if they do care, let them learn on their own accord. You're not here to school people of, in my opinion, something really basic. To me, that's if you're willing to put a lot of energy and time and heart and care into a human being and they can't even reciprocate that, that's a basic no. And that's the basic, we're not even going to entertain a speech around this subject. Because now, if you're talking about, see, this is going to be different for everyone because it's a generalized reading. I've got to try and make sure that I'm covering every angle. I'm not talking about something as evolved as twin flames. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who try their luck, who give it the sob story and appear in a certain way. And then when you dig a little bit, you're just like, there's something off about the situation here. There's something totally off. And then they show you, because as a Scorpio, I'll be honest with you, I'm the kind of person that if I know something's off, I'll hang around to see what it is, because I want to know for my own training purposes, you know. And I'll be honest with you, usually I wait for that to happen and then I'm off. And I usually don't even entertain words to explain to them that I've seen this. I'm off. Now, I'm sure you could sit and speak to 1 million people that know me or think they know me and go, oh, you know, and give their opinion. 9 times, again, I just hand it upstairs. I hand it up every time I hand it upstairs, because this is the thing, they see everything. Do I need to sit and explain that? No, because I'm very aware of what energy I put into a situation. Do I need to sit and explain my case? No, because I know the energy I put into a situation. They know the energy I put into a situation. They know what has happened and what hasn't happened. And so I leave it to them. As for boundaries, the key to this, in my opinion, is even if you feel like someone is in desperate need of your help, make sure you are always topping yourself up first, without a shadow of a doubt. Even if that person sits and begs you and gives it the big sob story, always, doesn't matter, without a shadow of a doubt, make sure you're topping yourself up first, without any exception. If you know you've got things to do and you are putting someone, or someone is that worried about a situation that you feel you're putting them before you, don't do it, because they're never gonna, I'll be really honest with you, that's always an imbalance right there. And so they're going to disappoint you, end of story. And then when they disappoint you, you're going to explain to them and they're not going to get it because they put you in that position in the first place. Think about it. If you put someone in a position where you're taking from them all the time, right? What normal person would do that? Most normal people who have a self-awareness would sit and go, oh, hey, you know, you've really helped me out on these things. Is there something I can help with? If they're not doing that, it's already giving you a red flag that this is a problem and that they are going to keep taking until you put your foot down. And so it's up to you. But personally, what I like doing is I observe until they really show themselves. And then I go, thank you. That's all I need to see. Bye. That's a very extreme way of doing it, but I'll be honest with you, it makes me learn, because then I can observe their little tactics, and I want to know, is it deliberate? Are you trying to deliberately take the mick? And what I mean by that, if you're not in the UK, is take the P. You know, take advantage, or do you have a very strong lack of self-awareness? You know, because for me, I want to see the differences. I don't know, maybe that's just, for some people that's going to be relevant for some reason, but I feel like it's a good way to learn. Yeah, Nick, 100%, mate. You must, I mean, look, you don't have to do anything, but for my own, put it this way, when you've got a very open, giving heart, you're either an empath or you're someone that is very giving. There are energy vampires everywhere. And usually it's people that don't realize they're energy vampires. And trust me, they will bleed you dry. They will honestly bleed you dry. And sometimes they're not aware of it. And sometimes they really are aware of it. And so the most sensible thing is during any interaction you're doing, question, do I have anything I need to be doing right now that is a real priority that I'm putting off because of this interaction? And if that's the case, just say, look, I'm going to have to speak to you another time, because people are going to come expect it as well. If you're so available to them, people expect it of you. And then when you don't do it, you look like a nasty person, because to them, they expect it. Now, 99% of people, unfortunately, I'm going to be realistic, are like that. I'm going to be very honest with you. There is a small 1% of people, in my opinion, now stop me if you think I'm wrong, who are very open-hearted and very giving, who are walked over. So you have to make sure you're protecting your boundaries, because not everyone has the same heart. I'm sorry to say that. And that's the way of just not taking it personally, is that they just haven't learned that yet. They're not at that level. They're just not, they don't have that conscious awareness. You know, or even like if you're in a position where someone's not communicating something that is massively impacting you, and then you bring it to their attention and say, you didn't tell me this, and then they fight and then they argue. If it's a really common sense thing about a lack of communication, it's the common sense things, in my opinion, that are the ones where you just go, we're not on the same page here. I'm not even going to sit and waste my time, because this is the thing, you've got to distinguish, is this energy a good use of your energy? 9 times out of 10, like I said, I don't even rub, I will just blank people. And I know that sounds really bad, and I remember one time before, my sister said to me, Jale, you got to stop you got to stop doing that. Some points people are going to need some information, you know. And so I remember trying it out and going, okay, I'll be open to this. You know, I'm not sort of someone that can't take advice, because I'm not an egomaniac. Like, so I remember actually reaching out to a person and making the effort. And I remember immediately afterwards thinking, this is the world's worst idea, because immediately they think that you are now admitting fault. And the only fault you're admitting actually is the fact that you should have known better, but they don't read it like that. So like I said, in my opinion, just be very careful with the energy you're putting in. Yeah, it is what it is. We just hand it upstairs. That's what I do. I hand it upstairs and go, it's over to you guys now. You can school this. It's not my job to school that. You know, if I'm doing a reading here, generally, in my opinion, that is this common sense information that I'm giving. Now, I get it. The people that are in the chat that are going, yeah, this happens to me, I'm not referring to you. I'm talking about the people that could have watched this going, oh, I don't understand that, because they're the ones that do it, you know. The ones that obviously are in the chat agreeing with me, this is obviously a message for you. But don't make it bad for you, as in don't allow that energy to stop your heart and block and restrict your heart, because your heart's needed, really needed. So don't make their issue, because it is their issue, in my opinion, restrict you. And because don't forget, we manifest from our heart space. It's a gateway. If we're blocking that, we're only doing ourselves a disservice. Don't let that energy restrict you and your heart, because I'll be honest with you, that has That's at the moment what I'm working on, where I'm getting so much restriction and disruption, and I'm fighting to keep myself open because I have to for the work I do, you know. So just be aware, and if it's a common sense thing that you're trying to explain to someone about how they've treated you, what's the point if they don't even know their ABCs at, say, you know, at 30 odd years of age, 40 odd years of age, they're not going to learn. Let them learn the hard way. And the same with this channel is, if I'm seeing same comments of a very low vibrational energy, I'm not even going to respond to that. I don't want to be around that energy. That's up to them to learn. Bottom of the deck, happiness. 2 dolphins. This is soul group. This is trying to, this whole thing is trying to get people into their soul groups, to try and get them into their tribe, to get people together that are matched, not people who are muggles. And if you don't know what that word means, it's like non-awakened, non-spiritual, non-aware. Let them get on with it. They're asleep. Do you know what I mean? And this is the thing. Sometimes you'll even meet people, spiritual people, who are also the same. I'll be really honest with you. Sometimes you'll meet spiritual people who are just as bad, and you just think, how long have you been on this journey? So I remember a time when my stepmom turned around to me and she was like, "You've really upset me." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, are you okay?" Because I was mortified that like this old, like 60-year-old woman was upset from something that I'd done. And I was like, "Why? What did I do? I'm so sorry." And she was explaining to me, she thought I ignored her because I did something else, and she got really upset that I was ignoring her. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm not ignoring you. Oh my goodness!" Like, because bless her, she's an older lady, and obviously for me, I felt awful. She felt like she was a little bit ignored, and like, you know, she's old, she's getting older, so obviously I, you know, extended the courtesy. Now I can't imagine most of these people doing that. I can't imagine people turning around having this defensive. So anyway, just as I say, defend your boundaries and just do you. This is the message, because you let them learn the hard way, you know, unless it's something like what I've said, you know. Right, so we've got illumination and a flexibility here. So you're going to see and observe illumination, flexibility. You'll be able to see and observe a lot of different energies here. Lee, this is a general reading as per the description. If you want a personalized reading, then please do let me know in the emails and we can book a reading for you. We've got patience here as well. Again, like the heron was observing. The heron was observing, wasn't it? This is the time to check the people around you, in my opinion. Because this is the thing, you're going to be seeing all kinds of true colors going on at the moment, and it's up to you to acknowledge that. Is this energy you can see yourself moving, you know, on after this stage of life? Can you see this person, you know, moving on to the next stage with you? If it's a no, you already know. You already know. And don't be apologetic about it, because it just means that you're not prepared to sacrifice your time and energy for something that is doo-doo. Let's be real. And especially if people want to sit and project all over the place, you don't have to sit and argue with that. Like, why? What's the point? You know, if people want to sit and argue, let them argue with themselves. You know, ain't no one got time for that in a lockdown situation. Like, it's like pure arguments. It's like, no thanks. Yeah, exactly. Look, solitude. Even if you're a party of one, connect with yourself. Look, solitude. Again, the moon, revealing information, because that is what will give you the most inner peace. Even if this is koi cart, which is blessings and abundance. Yeah, it's a general reading and a personalized reading are the one and the same thing. This is a general collective reading, so I'm reading the collective. Hopefully that's clarified that, Lee. If you want a reading that is only focused on you, please email me and we can organise and book you in a reading. Thanks, Stacey. the inner peace and solitude, this is going to be your blessing. Because actually by you, again, if it doesn't, even if you have only you, even if it's only you in this environment, all right, let's say you're sat in there thinking, well, that means I've got to rule out every single one of my friends around me because I don't feel like anyone is there for me. Yeah. And I know that sounds brutal, but I mean, personally, for me, I would rather have one real, honest, true person around me than 100. My guides are saying a rude word. Than 100 people that want to tell you what they think you want to hear, or will never give you the honest truth. Or what's the point? What's the point? And you can sit there and go, oh, you know, well, you know, I don't think she'd live by that. Oh, I have lived by it. I live by it every single day of my life. And again, these guys know because they've witnessed and observed it. But this is not about me. This is about you guys and how, because this is the thing, when you're closing out that energy, what you're basically saying is I'm not accepting this. This is not something I'm going to accept. And so the universe are going to bring you in something that you will accept. So if you're accepting that and you're not saying anything or doing anything, the universe is going to give you more of it. Because you're basically going, yeah, this is not my boundary isn't being respected here, but I'm just going to keep letting this happen. So the universe will keep bringing you more until you put your foot down, in my opinion. Certainly with what I've lived through and what they're talking to me about, then yeah. From what they're saying is you keep to yourself, and then obviously when you're meeting new people, like any new interaction, you just take it a step at a time. You observe, you know. And again, you try and keep to a balanced, you know, sort of way of exchanging energy. And if you feel like it is a balanced way of exchanging energy, you carry on with it. And if it's not, you say ta-ta. And you don't have to, in my opinion, if that person is not acknowledging that they are maybe not really doing a lot for the connection, then, you know what I mean? And only, this is the thing, if you know in your heart this is not balanced, then just do what you need to do, in my opinion. Because it's the thing, 9 times out of 10, when you sit and explain to someone, yeah, but I don't feel like this is a balanced connection, they're not going to get it, because they're just going to sit. Then again, you're going to know if they're going to get it or not, in my opinion. But the way I'm kind of getting this is like, keep the door open for things that you know will reciprocate, because then you're sending a sign to the universe to say, this is what I want, this is not what I want. So I don't want someone that's just going to step over my boundaries every 3 seconds. All right. Okay, guys, this was your reading for today. Thank you for all your likes. Much appreciated. And I'm going to be posting a video later. Next live will be Wednesday, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. Thank you so much for everyone to join in today, and your likes and all your comments. Until next time, take care. Thanks, Stacey, for your moderation. Much appreciated. Lovely. Bye.